Now, even before I begin, I'm just going to put this out there, right? There are not many reasons that you're probably going to want to use this plugin, Borders++, at all. In fact, let me actually show you what it does. So first of all, how you're supposed to install it is by making sure that you have installed it using HyperPM, okay? So HyperPM enable, first of all, you're going to want to list, okay, HyperPM list, and here you should see all of these plugins. Now, before you're actually able to install any of these, you're going to have to type in HyperPM update. And of course, if you want to install HyperPM itself, just go to this Hyprland Plugins repository, and you should find instructions on how to install it. Okay, so HyperPM update, then add, and then enable with this thing. And here, there you go. Basically, if you want to have access to HyperPM, just make sure you have Hyprland Git. Okay, now once you've installed HyperPM and then you're able to use the enable command, you should just type in HyperPM enable borders borders plus plus. So just do that, and then what's going to happen is basically the plugin should be enabled. However, there's still a couple more things that we have to do, which include configuring. So that's what we see over here. If you just click on this link, actually, let me show you. So here, you want to click on borders++, and that should take you to this site, this page over here. Now, this is the example config, which we're going to have to model off of in order to get extra borders for whatever reason. Now, they're not like the borders that you would find in BSPWM where it actually looked good. So basically, in BSPWM, what would happen is, let's say you had a window, okay? You had this sort of a window, and then behind it would be another sort of background that would be drawn, and then on that background, you'd have an extra border. Now, back in the day when people used to make BSPWM setups and awesome WM setups, it looked absolutely amazing. It looked gorgeous. Every single positive adjective I could come up with under the sun, it looked, right? However, what this does is it's a little bit different. Now, let me just open config, hyper, modules. It should be somewhere here in plugins.conf. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what this modules folder is about, it's a little something called making things modular, okay? Now, instead of having one file where you store everything, you can basically split it into a bunch of different files. If you want to know how that works, you can just go ahead and click the first link in the description. In there, I also show you how you can make custom theme switchers like this one. But basically, you create a list of your favorite themes, you can just load them up, and then whenever you feel like switching between any different theme, you can do so. Now, best part about this is it adapts no matter what app I'm using. Let's say I open my file manager. Okay, I have my file manager here. And then let's say I have VS Codium as well, doing some software development, Python coding, whatever. Okay, now by default, what's going to happen is it's going to adapt no matter whichever theme I choose. Now I can change the theme to something like Tokyo Night, and then all the apps adapt instantly. Now I can show you Nautilus as well, which is a file manager. Okay, it's a GTK4 file manager. And right now, it's having a different theme configured. But for all GTK3 apps and your terminal, and basically all apps you're going to be using pretty much by default, this is what you get. You can choose between whatever theme you want and then have it switch accordingly. So if you want to know how to make something like this and not have to look around yourself and waste a bunch of time looking around, not actually making anything, you can just go ahead and click the first link in the description. There, I also teach you how you can make these sorts of bars as well. Now, not only do the apps adapt, but then also waybar configs adapt. So if you want to know how to make something like this, go ahead, click the first link in the description. I would be honored to teach you how. Now, let's switch back to the default theme, and then let's carry on. So in plugins.conf, you want to add in borders++ over here. Okay, just basically copy the same thing and then add it over. Now, I'll explain each of these options so that you can basically decide whether you want to actually use them or not. Now, by default, you're probably going to have the white color for the border, and let's see. Add borders, I've changed it to 0, but by default, it's going to be 1. And what do you know? You can add in an extra border. Now, the only time I can see this potentially being useful is, let's say I reduced border size 1 to something like 5. Okay, and then I changed the color of the border, maybe to something like, let's see here. What color can I pick? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A black sort of color. Maybe gives a little bit of an extra effect to the shadow. Potentially, that's one use case for it. However, unlike the shadow, this shadow, okay, quotes, is applied everywhere. Like literally every single edge of this window is being covered by the shadow. Again, quotes. You could also change it to a different color. Like for example, if I pick the color, config waybar colors, custom here. Let's go with Night Fox. Okay. Let's say I pick a color, something like aqua, 7AD 4D6. So let's copy and paste that, 7AD 4D6. Okay, and this is what you get. Now, if for whatever reason you did not want to, let's say, have this size of a border, you could reduce it to something like 2. Of course, this controls the border size. Now, it is a little bit buggy because there's not been that much active development on this plugin, because chances are you're not going to use this at all, which is why you might experience some bugs here and there. All you have to do is just close and reopen the window, and it should be good enough. Of course, this is a color. You can add up to 8 borders. So, and because of which you can, of course, change the color of each border. Let's say I have another border. Let's say I have 2 borders, okay? And I can change the color of border 2 to be something like green, right? So 8EBAA4, 8EBAA4. Let's do that. And this is what you have. So if for whatever reason you wanted to change the color of every single border that you have 8 borders, have different colors for each of the 8 borders, you could do so very much. Now, of course, the borders don't actually disappear because they're just going to be constant and always there. So that's something to keep in mind. Border size, pretty simple, controls the size of each border. You can change the number you're using after border size to control the size of each specific border. Then, of course, we have natural rounding. Now, this makes the outer edges match the rounding of the parent. Now, if you turn this to no, what's going to happen is 2 things. Well, mainly it's just one thing, which is that the borders are going to have a rounding of their own. So it doesn't matter whether I have rounded borders or basically square borders, square border radiuses for my windows. This thing's rounding is just going to be constant. It's not going to adapt. However, if you want it to be the other way around, you can just change that to yes. And what do you know? It actually adapts to the rounding of the window itself. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know when it comes to Borders++. There are other plugins in this repository which I will cover in future videos that are actually way more useful. Like, for example, HyperExpo, which is basically an overview like you have in GNOME or KDE. And of course, all of the other plugins that we have over here. But trust me, Borders++, while it is there and while it is still, I consider, my responsibility to tell you what it's about, chances are you're not going to use it. So have fun with it if you will. And, of course, if you want to know how to make a blazing fast theme switcher like this one, without having to jump through 283 different loopholes every single time, just to figure out how to make something like this work, let alone actually implementing it, you can just go ahead and click the first link in the description. I, of course, teach you also how to make Hyprland into a desktop environment with stuff like this, with your own logout menu, with a lock screen, and with your very own notification center. And of course, not to mention the characteristic one of the defining features of a DE by default is this brightness and volume pop-up. So if you want to know how to make all of that without having to learn everything yourself, as in waste time jumping from one tutorial to the other, and you just want one source to learn from, go ahead, click the first link in the description, and I'd love to help you out. That's it. If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay rising.